folks, welcome to another episode of The Movement. This one's going to be a little different. So I started a file of Pokemon Crystal Clear a few years back, I believe, and I was really intrigued because growing up, Crystal was my favorite version. And when I found out that someone had taken the care to put together a ROM version of Crystal where you can catch every single Pokemon and face every gym leader in whatever order that you wanted, I was all over that. So I think I want to start things off a little bit backwards just to keep things fresh. So I'm going to start off at Blackthorn City and see if I regret my life choices there. So whenever I got the chance to pick my gender in a Pokemon game, I always had a lot of fun being the female. It was like a fun alternate universe that I got to pick. We're going to get some representation going here and pick the skin color that's closest to my skin color. I'm actually a little closer to like this color, but the sprite really does not do that justice, so I'm going to stick with this. And I loved the blue hair. Funnily enough, at some point in time when I was doing a file of Crystal on my own, I somehow stumbled into the pink color palette that Chris sometimes has because of whatever reason. But I'm really partial to the blue, but if I was going to be truer to myself, I'd be more of like the darker haired. But you know what? Oh, a green. That's a new one. No, I'm really going to stick with the blue. Sadly, my full Arizocto's channel name doesn't actually fit. But we can still have a lot of fun with this. This is going to be a Nuzlocke. So I think what would be fun is if I was playing the game with the pets that I had. The first pet that I really had as an adult is my little 5-year-old Chihuahua named Zuzu. And I'm just trying to dig through here and see which one of these looks like Zuzu the most. Honestly, this reminds me of Zuzu. So Zuzu's going to be this Tyrogue. Oh, that's cute. I forgot that you actually got the starters like this. Hey there guys, it's your old pal Shockslayer, and today I'm going to tell you about Crystal Clear. This text will cover the basics, but I encourage you to read the documentation online. Who reads the manual? 1. The world has been opened up. There are less restrictions on traveling and navigating areas within the game. New services and pathways have been added as well. The game scales with badges. This means that as you progress, trainers will be stronger and more things will be available. Gyms can also be re-challenged at any unlocked level by talking to the Pokeball statue. Please note that certain trainers related to story events will not scale, such as the Sages in Sprout Tower or the Kimono Girls. Oh, that's important to remember. New features. A good start is checking out the options and music menus. You'll be given a Dex tracker, which can be enabled to allow chaining, a method for hunting competitive or shiny Pokemon. Nice. You'll notice that after you get your starter, you'll be asked to save. Combined with the new Quick Continue feature, this will allow you to reset for a shiny much faster. Gift Pokemon like the starter have increased odds. However, all other encounters are still 1 out of 8,192, as it was in Gen 2. Certain events like releasing a roaming Pokemon will now show the overworld sprite as shiny and will play the sound. Cool. A handful of new or restored areas have been added. None are required to finish the game. That's cool. I'm excited to see what that is. Non-canon stuff is tucked away. This means that with the exception of the E4, Elite Four, all of our new stuff will be optional. All 251 Pokemon are available to catch or obtain in some way. The Pokédex has been completely reworked and now contains more information than ever. Detailed encounter data and info on legendary side quests can be found here. Nice. Side quests? This ROM hack's still compatible with the original games. This includes Pokemon Stadium 2. Yes! When I last did this, it was not compatible with Pokemon Stadium 2, which has been tricked to believe you've already caught 150 Pokemon so you can easily transfer without limitations. A lot of things are renewable. This includes roaming Pokemon, any stationary encounters, and gift Pokemon. Most of these are reset by beating the Elite Four. Be sure to check out the help info in the Moves tab to the Pokédex, as it lists where all the move tutors and other helpful NPCs are located, including HMs. you can have a Pokemon follow you around in the overworld. Yay! Just press select on the Pokemon party screen to choose a partner. As you walk with them, they'll grow to like you more. We got ourselves a Zuzu. Zuzu named after the little girl from, oh, what is it? Was it It's a Wonderful Life? Honestly, my spouse is the one that named this one. Smelling a nostalgically familiar scent. Sure. I don't have a Butterfree, but a Butterfree for a Doduo does sound like a good trade. Oh, right, I forgot we're a Blackthorn City. Something tells me that if I were to face them, my journey would be over real quick. So, unfortunately, one of the first creatures that I found ended up being a Golbat, and I couldn't escape. But after a little bit of struggling, I was able to escape and GTFO out of that cave that I was clearly underpowered for. It became apparent to me very quickly that I needed to go south first. Of course, once I went south, I had no way of getting back. And what do you know, the very second wild Pokemon that I faced was something that I also had to run away from. So the very first battle that I ended up having was with this hiker guy, and luckily his Pokemon were scaled, but I only had one. And I was surprised to see that I had some pretty good moves. First Swinub was taken out with some Mach punches. For the Diglett, I chanced a high jump kick, which ultimately did manage to pay off. And I was fortunate enough to have picked Zuzu as a fighting type so that I could actually take out the Onix. So after checking in on Zuzu, I hightailed it all the way to Cherry Grove City and saved Zuzu's life, at which point in time I was a little bit more in my element. So obviously with those areas I couldn't actually catch a Pokemon that I first ran into, because for one thing I didn't even have any Pokeballs, but for another they were such astronomically high levels that I really doubt I would have been able to get in a word edgewise there. So I stocked myself up on potions and Pokeballs and ran into the grass to try and find my next pet. Technically the second pet that I had was a guinea pig named Clover that my spouse got while she was in college. So after a little bit of back and forth, this Pidgey that I ran into ended up being Clover. So like the coward that I am, after being beat down so much by Clover, I mean being the good pet owner that I am, I took my two new friends and set them to the Pokemon Center. So after wandering around a little bit and being a responsible pet owner, I decided to do some grinding in the Bellsprout Tower since Clover was a Pidgey, but turns out I was rejected by the Elder for whatever reason. So I continued on my way to try and find my way back to Blackthorn City. Unfortunately, I did end up losing Clover in the kerfuffle, which made it extremely important that I now found a second creature to fill out my team, otherwise Zuzu would be completely destroyed. So on my way to the ruins of Alph, we stumbled upon a Natu, which was a great addition as long as I wasn't destroyed. I really didn't have much of an option here except to try and catch it with a Pokeball right away. Miraculously, I did end up catching the Natu. So the next creature after Clover passed away, in real life of course, the next pet we got was actually our Australian Shepherd, Bear. So we bid adieu to Clover. She has passed on. But now we had Zuzu and Bear, and my two boys were plenty powerful enough to face the great dragon tamer. On my way back to Blackthorn City, I ran into a few trainers that I was able to easily dispatch, luckily, because Bear, what? Well, I guess I really messed up there. After making a quick detour to try and fix the dopey mistake that I made of not naming Bear Bear, I ran into some trainers and ended up catching my third pet Pokemon, which is a guinea pig again that I rescued from the Humane Society. Not that I rescued from the Humane Society because they were bad, but I ended up obtaining from the Humane Society, the local Humane Society. And this one was actually named Mrs. Piggy. I know they probably meant Miss Piggy, but they ended up saying Mrs. Piggy. Well, that's not fair. They have more characters than my name does. So after fixing my mistake and renaming Bear to what I originally needed to name Bear, I hightailed my way back to Blackthorn City. Of course, I did not necessarily anticipate how difficult it would be to get through the ice cave. Especially considering most of the Pokemon in there were Golbats who could destroy me. I mean, realistically, most of my time was spent trying to keep Bear, my highest level Pokemon, alive. And the other half of my time was spent trying to remember how the heck to get past the ice puzzle. Miraculously, I made it out of the ice cave intact. So after a quick pit stop to give my pets a nice rest, I made my way to the gym. Of course, I had to give Zuzu a fighting chance, since he was my lowest level Pokemon and my current favorite. I had Zuzu face off most of the Dragon Tamers. He just went bam, 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 wham, and it was over. So after dropping a potion into Zuzu, I was brimming with confidence and ready to take on my first gym challenge. The challengers square off. Leader Claire sends out Dratini. Oh, it looks fierce. Go Zuzu! What will this little shrimp do? A solid hit. The opponent sets up a light screen. Zuzu takes it out with a Mach Punch. Oh, it's another Dratini. Great hit. Oh, it didn't affect the opposing Pokemon. Another great hit. Now I'm thinking Zuzu's level 13. He's doing great. He's taking them all out one by one. A solid high jump kick and a critical hit takes out the third Dratini. At this point I was thinking, yeah, we doing great. There's nothing this little thing can do to me. And then it comes out with Surf. The strongest move that has been used against any of my Pokemon right now. And that did well over half, so I am not excited. I am not comfortable. I don't think a Mach Punch will take it out, so I had to throw in my cannon fodder, Mrs. Piggy. If anyone was going to pass out or be done in this challenge, it would be this guinea pig. Oh, but she took it like a champ. What will it do now? So here I was thinking, okay, I can either tackle it and risk it using a potion, or I can use Scary Face to slow it down for the next Pokemon. Because of course it's Surf, nothing's going to happen if I charm it, and it hits me with a Surf. Just in time to kill me. Well, that's great. But that's alright, I've got Bear. And Bear is faster and takes him out with a Nightshade. Just had to take out the big guns on that one. And that brings us our first badge in this challenge. We're trying to hit 33 million or more subscribers in 1 year, trying to overtake the great American YouTuber Markiplier. At least his subscriber count when we started this challenge. Make sure to comment your subscriber number when you subscribe. And hit a like. Every like equals one treat that Zuzu gets to help him gain some weight because he eats like a little bird. Now until next time, let's go!